Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this coding practice, we are going to understand how to use the various specifiers for different data types. Let's start by including the stdio.header file, then the main function. Okay, so we'll start by focusing just on integer first. So let's have an integer variable number. And let us suppose initially I'll just assign a value on my own. Let's suppose the value of number is 5. So this is the definition part. Now if I want to print number, what I will use printf, and I'll say, let's suppose the value of number is, and now I want to print that value here. Okay, so I'll not write here num. No, I can't write 5 because the value might change. Here I need to tell the specifier of the variable whose value I want to print. So here I want to print the value of number. So I'll write number is integer. So if you remember from the previous chapter, for integer the specifier was %d. Close the double quotes, comma, and then you will write the variable. Alright. So printf in double quotes, you can give a message, and within the message, wherever you want to print the value of the variable, you will write the specifier. So here it was %d. Finally, close the double quotes, comma, and write the variable. Compile and run. So you can see the value of the number is 5. Now let us suppose that there are two variables. So integer num and let's say num1. Okay. And now I want to take the value of number num1 from the user. Okay. So what I will do, I use a scanf. Within double quotes, I need to write again here the specifier. So since num1 is an integer, so I'll write %d, and after the double quotes, I'll write ampersand the variable name, which is num1. So this means whatever the user enters will be saved in the variable num1. So for the variable num, I am specifying the value which is 5. For the variable num1, we are taking the input from the user. And now I want to print both. So the value of, let's write here num is %d and num1 is again what? %d. Separate the variables with comma. Alright, so in double quotes you can write all the specifiers for whichever variable you want to print, and then after the double quotes separate them with commas. So let's run this, save, compile and run. Now there is no output. Why? Because this program or the process is waiting for the user to enter a value. Remember, you have used scanf and you are waiting for the user. So let's suppose the user says 12. Press enter and the value of num is 5. So there's a typing mistake there. And num1 is 12, right? Little inconvenient, because if someone else is using this program, how will he come to know what he's supposed to do? So what we should do here is one correction. Let's write this num. Whenever you use scanf, before that use a printf and give a message to the user. So here you can say enter the value for num1. Okay, and if I compile and run again, this time it says enter the value for num1. So as an end user, this is convenient. Let's suppose 23. Now you can say value of num is 5 and num1 is 23. Same goes for all other data types also. So let me give you a quick example. For character, let's suppose the character variable C, and there's a float which is weight. Okay, so now after taking the scanf value for num1, let me print copy paste this, and here I'll say enter the value of for character, then I'll scan, and then let me say enter the value for float. Okay, so we need to scanf again for character. So for character the specifier was %C, and what is the variable? The variable name is again C. So let me change this so that there's no confusion. Let's suppose the character variable is A, and we'll change this to A. Next was float. So for float, we'll again do scanf. For float, the specifier was %F, and the variable that we are using here is weight, because I know that the weight can be in decimal also, right? So we have already printed the number num and num1, and now let's print the character value is %C. Let's use new line so that all the outputs are on different line. Finally, I want to print the value of the float, or let's suppose the weight is %F, and that we are using is weight. Alright, so everything seems okay. We have missed here the variable which is A. Okay, so do remember to tell what is the variable whose value you are to print. So let's save, compile this. Okay, there's some error here. Okay, we have missed the semicolon. Right. Compile again, no errors, and run. Okay, enter the value of num1, let's suppose 30. Enter the value of character, enter the value of float. Okay, so what happened here was, we need, whenever you are using %C, give us space here, scanf. Now it will run fine. Compile, run. Okay, 30. Enter the value of character. So let's suppose I say G. Enter the value of float, which was the weight. So let's suppose 67.8. And now you can see the value of num is 5, num1 is 30, value, the character value is G, the weight is 67.800003. So for the float, one thing you can notice is that even though I gave 67.8, it is giving 67.800003, which is like 6 decimal places. So that's the default, that it will print 6 decimal places. Okay, so how we can overcome this is, while printing float, so we'll discuss this in a later video also. As of now, what you can say here is .2f, which means that after the dot there can be 2 digits, so till 2 decimal place. Save, compile, and run. Give the value for number, character, float, and now it is fine, 34.50. So in a similar way, you can try for short int or double also. What I'll discuss here is unsigned. Okay, so let me take one example for unsigned also. So let's suppose that in the beginning I say short unsigned int shi. Okay, sorry, sui. This is the variable, and just to tell you the difference, I'd say here short int si. Okay, so let me delete all this so that there's no confusion. We have already worked out, so I think these things will be clear. We can delete it. Alright, so if you remember that for short int, the range was minus 32768 to 32767. That's the maximum value, 32767. If I assign here a value, so let me assign first 32456. This is a valid value, right? If I print this, printf value of short int is percentage hd, comma si, save, compile and run. So we get the value, right? 32456. This is what we have declared. If I go beyond the range, so the range was 32767. So I'll go 770. Okay, 767 is the maximum range. What do I get? Save, compile and run. See here what we are getting, minus 32766, not the value that I have given. Why we are getting this is because you have gone 3 values beyond. Okay, 767 was the highest value, so 768, 769, 770. So it has gone 3 values to the other side, minus 32, 768, 767 and 766. Okay, but this is not what I want. What I want is 32770. So what is the option? I can use unsigned, because I'm pretty sure that I only want the positive value, so I need to double the range of short int. So I can use unsigned short int. So it will not be short unsigned, but it will be unsigned short int. Okay, so this time I'll print with, so I'll assign the same value to sui is equal to 32770, and we'll copy and paste this unsigned. So that will be hu, and here it is sui is the variable name. Okay, let's save. So value of unsigned, not value of, let's save value using. Also we'll use here new line so that the output is on the next line. Compile and run. So you can see here, this time I'm getting 32770 because I have increased the range of short int to, if you remember from the last video, it will double. The value was 0 to 65535. Okay, so I can go till that value with this unsigned short int. So let's suppose if I try 65,000, even we'll get this also. Compile and run. Okay, but this is not possible with short int. If I write here 65,000, it will not work. We'll get something else. You can see here. Okay, one last thing before we end, we'll learn if I want to use octal at decimal values. So I'll delete this, and let's suppose number is having the value 11. If I want to print the decimal value, I'll simply use decimal value %d, comma num. But what if I want to print the octal at the hexadecimal values? So we need to use O for octal, %O, and X for hexadecimal. So use new line here. So rather than writing D, I'll use O, and here I'll use X. Small x, so I'll get small ABC, whatever. So 11 is B, so I'll get small b. Similarly, let's see what will be the octal value for 11. Also, let us write here octal, new line, and hexadecimal. Okay, compile and run. Alright, so decimal value is 11, the corresponding octal value is 13, and hexadecimal value is B. So if you want to print here capital B, you can use capital X. So that's all for this video. I'm also putting up some practice questions on DexTutor.com. The exact link is given in the description part of this video. So I hope that so far whatever we have discussed, you are able to understand that. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos. Till then, take care.